somebody said you told the general public before you told your kids.
That is not true.
Okay.
That is not true. And this is what I'm saying about black folk on media. There was nothing to tell. Tell what? What was I telling?
But your kids were getting problems now after this, like in school.
Yeah, I think the mother of your child is the one who put that out there.
Who?
Was it the mother of your child?
Who was that?
I don't know her name.
I don't know either.
Oh.
I don't know who. I have no idea why or what that was about.
But how are your kids now? Because we heard that they were getting it.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy JT, opposite from the norm. I just seen this last night, the Malik Yoba Breakfast Club interview, and he brought a few people up there with him to talk about what's been going on with him, and I guess trying to get people to understand, like they keep saying, the language. I only showed that clip real quick because I pretty much watched the whole interview, and I just wanted to kind of give my perspective on it. And I feel as though if y'all haven't seen it, you can, go watch the whole thing or whatever after this video or whatever, you know what I'm saying, before you fully watch this video, so you can understand where I'm coming from. I'm not going to be able to show, of course, the whole thing and go through it. That'll take too long. It's an hour long. So if y'all want to go watch it, Malik Yoba Breakfast Club interview, where he talk about everything that's been going on with him since he's quote unquote stepped up. And I played that first part, and because I want to address something on that, and then what's been going on the interview. So y'all bear with me. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my little questionnaire thing I put together. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about in this interview, I'm respectful of people as much as possible, especially if they're not really doing nothing wrong. But trying to have a conversation about everything that's being talked about, that they was talking about, what was confusing to me, and I'm sure a lot because I read the comments, is the fact that they sounded confused. And it's like they kept correcting each other. And it's like, y'all still trying to figure out these certain things. Like, they kept talking about how you address people, and they kept talking about being cisgender. And I looked at this video and some other things, and I looked up the definition. So apparently the definition that they brought together for cisgender is people, I don't know if it's just women, but I think it's people who identify with who they were when they were born and what the doctor assigned them as. So I guess cis is supposed to be for assignment or something like that. And I'm like, okay, if somebody is a female and identify with being heterosexual, or a male that identifies with heterosexual, then they're heterosexual male or heterosexual female. But I guess cisgender is supposed to be means that they're a friend of the LGBT community. I guess that's what cis is supposed to mean. If you say you're cis, that means you're an ally of the LGBT community, and that, you're there for them. You know what I'm saying? So you identify as cis. But people were confused, or certain people in the comments was like, yo, that's not me. I'm not cis. I'm just straight heterosexual, or as a heterosexual woman. Don't call me no cis. I don't want to be called that. And I think that's what we got to look up to see what that is. But the confusing thing about it is they kept not understanding what they were saying. Like, everybody kept, Malik say something, then he get corrected. The black trans woman, she says something, she's corrected. Then the Latina Spanish woman says something, and she got corrected. The gay male that was with them, he said something wrong, then he got corrected. So I'm looking like, do y'all even know what y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, why y'all still trying to get people to understand something y'all barely understand or can make sense of? And y'all still confused, and y'all still like, no, don't say that. No, say this. Don't say that. And they say get the language. And I think that's the confusing part, is trying to add take all these letters from the alphabet and then put it into what y'all saying. And then people is confused like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Because back in the days, if you was a man dressing as a woman, you was a transvestite. And I think the same thing for a man a woman dressing as a man. You know what I'm saying? You was a transvestite, but you was not transgender. So I think people is a little confused. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I forget what the other one is, because I thought cisgender was the one where you cool with looking at the person's identity and being attracted to their personality versus what's between their legs. And that kind of bothered me, is because it keeps being pushed to that. It has nothing to do with what's between their legs. It's about love and all of this stuff. I'm like, if that's what you say, but get y'all letters together and figure out what you talking about. From gay or bisexual, or, you know what I'm saying, somebody that's transgender, I get those three. You know what I'm saying? But then all these other letters and stuff come into the fold. People like, what the hell is you talking about? And I think that's why people that's trying. Because you got a lot of people out here that's trying, but they are confused, because when they have a conversation, then they getting corrected. It's hard to ask real questions. You know what I'm saying? Then the next thing, which is the clip, Malik Yoba acted like he didn't know who his mother, his kids was, and none of the trans women corrected him for being disrespectful to the mother of his child. He said, I don't know who that is. I don't know. Instead of being realistic, and I'm like, I always looked at Malik as a brother that was straightforward, and, you know what I'm saying, didn't run for stuff, and was a good, strong brother. But then when he was on Vlad, he got upset about a question Vlad asked him. I forget what it was. And then now on this show, when Charlamagne asked him that question, then I don't know who it is, and they went past it. And then the women and the gay brother didn't correct him. Like, hold on now, you know, this ain't, we ain't trying to get in your business or nothing, but, you know, respectfully, you know, let them know, you know what I'm saying, that either that's not none of their business, or what really was the situation, that she might be lying. Because he also spoke about his kids and said his oldest daughter is in support of him and not worry about everything. So maybe they separated. Maybe she could be not telling the truth, but he's never really addressed it. Strong as you're addressing this situation, he said his kids does know, and he don't have to explain to them, and he didn't come out to the world before he came out to his kids. Okay, that's good to know. But to sit there and act like the mother of your children don't exist, or you don't know what he talking about, and then none of the other trans women said anything, this is what I have a problem with. And I'm being transparent as I can. I'm not going to be disrespectful. But if you take what I say disrespectfully and not hear what I'm saying, then this is why it'll be hard for us to ever have a conversation about the things we need to in this world in general. They should have corrected him the same way they corrected him by the language or the letters or whatever. This is the problem I have. They come together on those topics, but when you see black people going through stuff, it's only the black people that's a part of that LGBT community that comes and have our backs as black people. And that's what I have a problem with. You want us to be respectful to your cause, but we still out here fighting to live too. And it's deplorable that somebody would get killed or bullied or ostracized because of what their sexual preference is or how they choose to live and express themselves. That is sickening. You know what I'm saying? Because just because who you decide to identify or love shouldn't be cause for you to get killed. That is disgusting. You know what I'm saying? So if they around here killing people because of that, that is some bullshit. And we need to address those situations. But I feel we need to figure out a way that respectfully women are still being respected. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't just be because if it's a trans woman or lesbian or whatever, bisexual person or somebody in the LGBT community, that's the only time they ride. This is what we got to realize. If we talking about respect to trans women, if regular women, especially women of color, especially black women, Latino women, or whatever, are getting disrespected all the time, how do you think y'all gonna get respect? So it don't need to be just about trans women. Women in general need to be respected if y'all want to be respected. If you want to be a woman and women are getting disrespected, explain to me how come y'all not riding with women? Because I don't see it. I only see y'all only care about y'allself. I don't see y'all riding with women like y'all should be. Or if the trans men want to be men, especially if you're a man of color, becoming a man of color, if black men are not respected and we still getting shot down and thrown in jail for some BS, what you think gonna happen to y'all? Why would you want to be something that's getting ostracized, shot down, criticized, and tormented for being born a certain way, but then y'all not helping to stop that situation that's happening? Because once y'all get accepted for that, and then y'all start going through the same thing, now you got to fight for that cause. That's why I have a problem at, because you only worry about your cause right now. All right? The third one, they acted like it's okay for a child to transition. I got a problem with that. Okay, Malik Yoba said he used to mess with this Latina, I think you said Latina trans woman about 7 years ago, and she, the trans woman, had a son that's now transitioning to be a girl that's like 19 years old. And Charlamagne asked him a question. That's why I'm saying y'all go check out the interview if you want to be able to fully understand where I'm coming from. That's up to y'all. So he was like, wow, that was great, that's amazing. And then Charlamagne said something else like, isn't that really too young for a child to be trying to say that's what they are? And then the gay brother, I think his name is David Johns, was like, well, when did you figure out who you was? And then Charlamagne was acting confused, like, well, I don't really know. And he like, see, so how can you expect us to tell you something that you don't know? And it's like, but y'all always trying to tell us something we don't know. And to be understanding and respectful, that is too young for a child. Like, think about it like this. Okay, you saying it has nothing to do with being gay. And I'm like, okay. I mean, sexual orientation, what I'm saying, nothing about sexual. Okay, so if the child is quote unquote transitioning and that child starts to like boys who is a boy, or a girl starting to like girls who is a girls, that's gay. That's gay. You know what I'm saying? That's homosexuality. So how are you gonna say they transitioning when you can't really have that surgery till you like 18? So if you doing all of that, that means you gay first. You not transitioning at 19 years old. And then another thing I noticed from what I've seen, mostly is like when a child talking about transitioning, their parents might be either gay or or trans. And I'm like, okay, so you don't think that has nothing to do with the child wanting to be that way? And I'm kind of like distraught about that. That y'all, it looks like this is why people say push an agenda. If you really think about it, it looks like you want it so bad that you don't care if your child is some kind of way because of what you live. I remember back in the old days, if a person was gay or a transvestite or whatever, they didn't push that on their kids. You know what I'm saying? They raised their kids to be who their kids was going to be, and whatever choice they made as an adult was respected. You know what I'm saying? Or learning to respect it. But they didn't push that on their kids. I don't believe that's cool. To me, that's not okay. That's not okay. That instead of you working for your child to be who your child is first, and then as they get older to figure it out, maybe get them guidance just on life, period. I don't think that's okay. I don't think it's okay. We're talking about a child is transitioning. Like, and then because another reason why is because I'm worried about the health issues where they giving children pills and stuff to help them transition. That's when it looks like an agenda. Okay, I'm going to push that it's okay my child to be trans. And it's like, okay, how do you go past being gay to trans? Because no offense, if you liking the same sex that's gay, or homosexual, that's not trans. And if they wearing those clothes, you talking about they trying to prepare for transitioning when they get older, it's like, okay, but you was gay first. And I'm not trying to be funny, nothing, because when I was young, you know what I'm saying, everybody know at school they probably had at least one gay or two gay people or children that they seen like they might be gay when they get older. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. I ain't, you know what I'm saying, that ain't really none of my business. But what bothers me though is that it looks like agenda when you saying for a child transitioning before they really get to realize who they are. Like, some people don't realize it until they like in their mid-30s. So what if you do that to a child, and then the child look back and be like, damn, you messed me up, or you allow me to do too much? Because you got to remember, I've seen children do that, where they turn around and be upset with their parents because they was acting like they was friends instead of being their parents. So I think parents really need to be careful about it. I don't care how open-minded or progressive you trying to be a parent first. And I think that's dangerous. All right, another thing. Malik said he first got to talk to a trans girl around 16. He met a Latina girl at a little teen club or somewhere, or party, block party, and he wanted to talk to her about what's that like and this and that. Once again, at 16, this person was not trans yet. They was not transgendered yet. They was cross-dressing. So that was gay. I forget the person that's on I think it's Miss Cynthia or something like that. It was a gay male that was on Big Tigger show, and you can look it up. I think it's Miss Cynthia on the Big Tigger show. You know what I'm saying? His radio show in Atlanta, and that person was saying how they was like, no offense to Malik Yoba, but it was like, if you had sex with somebody who's trans, in my opinion, you gay. And I'm saying, no offense, but just because you made that transition and you still have to title yourself as trans, because you got to remember, I'm not saying it's cool, but there have been occasions that I've heard about in my lifetime where I'm from, where somebody was pretending to be a woman and tricked somebody to having sex with that person. They could have lost their lives. They could have got killed. So I think, yeah, you do need to live your truth. You do need to be honest about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You do need to keep it real, because there are people out there that play that game. And there may be some people that just was scared to tell the truth, but it's like, yo, you're not a woman. You was not born a woman. So that's what I have a problem with the cisgender thing, when they talking about, basically going with what you feel you was assigned at birth, and then saying, no, it's just what the doctor assigned you. It's not a job. They assign you that before birth. And matter of fact, not assigned. They diagnose that's what it is. This is scientific. This is biology. You know what I'm saying? No offense, but how do you keep saying that, this is what society is made, and it's not really real? But that's to your convenience, because you saying, okay, I was not born a man, I was born a woman. I mean, I really am a woman, but this is what they assigned me. So you mean to tell me that you was really a woman, but you can't have babies? You don't have a menstrual cycle. You wasn't born with a vagina. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that are part of the anatomy of human bodies that make us what we are, our genetic makeup. And the anatomy, our body anatomies, are what, of course, differentiates us from males or females. You know what I'm saying? From each other. We have different chromosomes also. The male has X, Y. That's why we able to produce men and women. You know what I'm saying? Girls and boys. So to sit around and try to change that now just because it fits your narrative is not reality. That's probably the biggest issue I have with the LGBT community, is the fact that they're saying, or a lot of people, I can't say all of them, but a lot of them, probably, I don't know, maybe majority now in this generation, keep trying to say that's not what's important. But if that's not what's important, then why are you fighting to be the opposite of what you were born? It would make more sense, or I think the conversation would be simpler if they would be like, you know what, I was born a man, I feel like a woman, I transitioned into a woman, so to be honest, okay, I'm a transgender person now, but to say, no, I was born in the wrong body, is like, okay, now you pissing on my head and telling me it's rain. That don't make no sense. I can obviously see you a male, or I can obviously see you a female. Just keep it plain and simple. Stop trying to throw all these dynamics and curveballs and then wonder why people are so confused. But when I'm watching this panel, they still confused. I'm just being transparent. I'm being real. I ain't being disrespectful. If somebody takes what I'm saying as disrespectful, then You need to get some tougher skin. Because if you want to be respected openly and accepted, then you have to accept the fact that there's going to be a lot of people that disagree with you. There's going to be a lot of people that may hate you. I'm a black male. I still have to worry about watching out for racism because I'm in the South. I still have to worry about it, even though Florida is a big tourist state and there's a lot of different people here because, you know what I'm saying, they migrate from the north. It's still very racist around here. I have to watch out for my life. I don't have to deal with trans people deal with. But think about it like this. Like when they try to bring the whole gay and black situations together about and saying, oh, it's kind of like black man, this and this and that. And it's like, the difference is you can hide being gay. I can't hide being this year round. I have a tan year round. I can't hide this. You know what I'm saying? I cannot hide this. So it's a big difference. And there's more black people getting beat up and killed than there is trans people. And it's still sad and deplorable on either side. But what you got to realize is the reason why I feel a lot of black people ain't cool with that shit is because it's like, bro, I'm fighting to live. As soon as a person see me, ain't nothing I can do to hide. I ain't got no money to bleach and change my color of my skin. As soon as they see me, my life is in danger. A trans person or a homosexual person can hide that. You can hide that if you want to. Like, especially nowadays with the way the surgery is with trans, man, trans people can look like a real woman and don't have to say shit. I can't do that. I can't do that as a black man. I can't do that. I can't hide that. So I think if y'all want us to be careful about how we talking the language, then y'all need to do the same thing, or we need to have a real conversation. And another thing, they keep talking about the black community being homophobic. Look, just like I broke down on my last video, if you think about going back into the days where black people were taught to be ashamed of themselves because they was black and they wasn't going to be nothing because of how they was born, you have to look at us trying to find ways to keep our heads up just to fight to be respected as human beings. So when a lot of things were said about our community, we tried to fight against being that, so that, you know what I'm saying, we walk tall and be strong and not to keep going through this craziness. Now, I get that, you know, the LGBT community can relate to that, but the difference is being a statement really, really pushed on you in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I already say with the gay community, if it's, oh, you know what I'm saying, they might be child molesters, or they just want to have sex, they just over-sexualize, or they get AIDS. Now imagine those three things being put on you because you're a person of color, then you're a criminal, then the over-sexualize, then you stupid and ignorant, because they always say about gay people about being nice, clean, smart, and getting to the money. But then they say, we don't get no money, we don't have no money, we broke, we all on Section 8 housing and food stamps. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot more statements put on us than y'all. They say the same, everything they say about gay people, they say that about black people and then some. So you gotta be respectful of that conversation. If you want black people in the conversation, but you gotta really go back and do your research and do your history about what black people go through and why black people act that way. You get tired of hearing, oh, black people so homophobic. Listen, where I'm from in St. Petersburg, when I see gay people, I don't see nobody bullying them. And I understand that still goes on in the world, but I don't see it here. I don't hear about it in Atlanta no more. You know what I'm saying? Or San Francisco. Matter of fact, y'all got people scared of y'all community, bruh, of what y'all do to them. I see it. So to say that and keep saying this homophobic thing, man, please stop, because I'm getting so tired of hearing that crap. I'm getting so tired of hearing that black people just so homophobic in the black community. And it's like, okay, you got a lot of gay people in church. You got gay choir directors. You got gay churches now. But the black community is still so homophobic. You got gay people everywhere you go, and I do not see people disrespecting them anymore. I don't see it like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying it's not going on, but the way it's being presented to keep saying about the black community. And this is another thing we got to think about. Where does that come from? Where does self-hatred come from? What does the disrespect of races come from? Where does that criminal mindset come from? European. That is a European thing. They keep saying the black community, but it was the white European community that made up all these words. And you know what I'm saying? Excuse my language, but I'm just going to give y'all an example. This is just in context. I'm putting in context. When you look at the word faggot, where did that come from? When you look at the word nigger, where did that come from? When you look at the word spit, when you look at the word guinea or guap, when you look at the word wetback, when you look at chink, where did all this stuff come from? White people. This came from the European mindset. So we keep hearing the black community is so homophobic, but y'all forget when the whole gay thing really came up back in the late 70s, throughout the 80s and to here on, they were saying that gay people and blacks was the cause of AIDS. This is what white people were saying. Now, black people been here since, what, 1500s? And then you mean to tell me, hold on, so say 1500, so 400 years, it took 3 to 200 years, no, I'm sorry, about 400 years, and then all of a sudden now, AIDS is around? So if they're saying in the United States it was like since the 1600s, so 300 years later, in the 80s, 1980s, the late 1900s, that's when AIDS came around. Hundreds of years black people been here, and that's when AIDS came around. All these years that's been going on, gay stuff didn't come out to the 1980s. Come on, man. That's European ways of thinking. So to put that on the black community, I get tired of hearing that. What about the European community that made all these disrespectful turns towards black people, gay people, Irish people, Asian people, Italian people, Hispanic people? That's the European way of thinking. But you mean to tell me y'all keep putting that on us? I'm so tired of hearing that. We get all the credit for the wrong thing in the world, and this is what's so sad, especially coming from black, gay people, trans people, lesbian people, bisexual people, whatever. Excuse me. Y'all keep pushing that same narrative, but what about the European culture? That's where this shit came from. But nobody talks about it, nobody thinks about it. I'm so tired of, it's the black, they so homophobic. Man, and white people ain't. We got a president in the office right now that is pushing the biggest way of thinking. Y'all still have a problem with black people and saying we homophobic. But look at the president. Look at the fucking president. Look at the shit he pushing right now. He making it to where white men are coming against every fucking body and hate everybody. That's what he brings to the table. When they had those racist ass crackers that was up there in Virginia coming against good people, what did he say after that racist motherfucking pig ran down them people and killed them people? It's good people on both sides. What the fuck was the LGBT community at then? Where y'all was at? And I don't want to hear nothing about a few gay people that are down for fighting the cause of what's right and what's wrong. I ain't talking about a few people. I'm talking about the whole fucking community. Where was y'all at? Where was our votes at? Or the push of a vote and narrative or agenda for black people to get what they needed? Where was y'all at? Because black people was out there voting for y'all to be able to have same-sex marriage. So where the fuck was y'all at? This is where I'm pissed off with a dude like Malik Yoba at, and where I can't respect him is because, first of all, when you ask real questions, you dodging them. Or you get aggressive with somebody. You talking about, it ain't coming out, it's stepping up. I respect that, but at the same time, I can't respect when he asks you about the mother of your children, and who is that? Well, I don't know who that is. That's the problem. You talking about black men, and then you still did something that ignorant heterosexual black men do. You talking about you trans attracted. So, I don't give a fuck. That's your business. But if you felt you had to come out for that, man, where is the proper respect and protection for your children and the mother of your child, whether y'all get along or not. Where's her proper respect? I don't get along with my son mama at all. But I'm not gonna go around disrespecting who is that? I still can get her props for being a good mother. I ain't finna go around shitting on her. I've been through what I've been through as a young man. But nigga, you almost 50 years old. You definitely should know better. And I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with that at all. If we're gonna have a conversation, let's have some real conversations. Let's be honest. It's not all fucking black people that's pushing this whole agenda of being homophobic. That comes from the white community. And we keep putting it on ourselves, and I'm tired of hearing that bullshit, man. Let's call a spade a spade. It is what it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just not cool with, if we're gonna have this conversation, you can't respect when somebody asks you a real question. You know what I'm saying? I'm not cool with it. I'm not cool with the black men that do come out and trying to make sure that everything is cool. You know what I'm saying? And then they didn't ask him anything about the allegations about this young trans person, well, young homosexual person, because they said it was 13 to 16 when they met him and been dealing with him. You didn't go through the transition yet. So if allegedly it's true, then that means Malik Yoba was messing with little boys that dress like little girls. And they didn't ask him any questions about that. And it's like, I'm not saying that, you know, you can go off allegations all the time. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, if you're going to go out there and talk about certain things when they come to you, you do need to address them, because you don't want people saying that they listen to you, they're for you, but then you mean to tell me that, you know what I'm saying, you doing all this and you running from stuff, that's being a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to get my perspective on that. Y'all give me y'all opinion. I know some people probably going to go off and sound off. But like I said, if we're going to have these conversations, we need to have some real dialogue so we can really get somewhere. But we need to stop confusing people and trying to trick people, because it looks like an agenda when you put it to children. Keep pushing it. That's not what God wants. If you say God loves you regardless of what, then you need to be careful about certain things you do, because there's certain things that God looks down on, and you got to keep it real with that. So this your boy JTL, opposite from the norm. I didn't mean to hold y'all too long, but I just want to get some stuff out my chest. Damn, it look like 30-something minutes. Ugh. All right. Y'all holla at me. Like, share, comment. Make sure you subscribe. It almost went smooth. Like, share, comment, and make sure you subscribe if this is your first time watching. JTL, opposite from the norm. Get at y'all.